Hey, what's up, guys? It's Tony the Closer here with my man Josh from Deal Machine. Hey, what's up, Josh? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great, man.
Good to hear.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you meeting with me today. This is pretty cool. You guys have some exciting stuff going on with the Deal Machine app. Obviously, what I share and what I talk about runs right in line with what you guys do. And I want to dig a little deeper today and talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise, and we're excited too, given kind of your background, like the book that you just recently released and everything, and talking about your experience as a closer, as a salesperson in general, how that applies to wholesaling, and how like our users, our audience, can use some of the experiences and tactics that are really natural and comfortable to you to just to be better in their wholesaling or real estate investment practices.
Absolutely, yeah.
Very, very awesome.
Pretty cool.
So just to kind of kick it off a little bit, I love to. Well, I guess before we jump into too much about the book itself or anything, I would love to know a little, just a summary of your background. I know a lot of people are going to see this from your audience who already know who you are and everything, but a lot of people from our audience who don't know who you are going to be viewing this for the first time. So maybe just give a little bit, like 30 to 60 seconds about your background and who you are.
Sure, I'll try to do the mega speed version. So I'm an ex-athlete, had a short NFL career. After my NFL career, I went into the auto industry. I went to go buy a car for my sister, which is a crazy story, and she was telling me how successful she was at selling cars. And I knew she didn't know anything about selling anything at the Hendrick Automotive Group. Well, long story short, I ended up needing a job because I was no longer employed. So I got in the auto industry. And in my first month in the business, I sell 24 and a half cars, top salesperson in the company. And I went on for about 4 or 5 year run where I was a top salesperson, president's club, chairman's club. So I just found a pretty good niche as far as dealing with sellers and customers and people who were in buying situations.
Awesome. And then what was the transition from that to real estate for you?
So my father, who happens to be a pretty strong asset in the real estate REI community, was seeing the amount of money I was making and not really investing it. And he was like, hey, I think you need to kind of protect your money long term. So we got into, obviously, we started doing some investing together, started a business together, which was a predominant wholesale business. Cool story is that as this predominant wholesale business was, as the wholesale business was starting, one of my friends happened to be sitting in on the conversation as my father and I were discussing our deal, which happens to be Max Maxwell, my good friend.
Sure.
So Max sits in the corner, he hears us talking about building a wholesaling company. Max goes and starts researching what was wholesaling, and you guys know who Max is now. So obviously, you know, he got a nice jump start, you know, sitting in the basement with my father and I. So jumped into real estate, and I saw that the tactics that worked for me in the auto industry translated seamlessly right into real estate, because you're still dealing with people and their emotions, and I just knew how to overcome objections really well. So I use those same tools to negotiate deals in the real estate space, and we've got thousands of deals closed. And I decided to put it into 21 Proven Secrets into a book.
Cool.
So that's been pretty exciting. I did not expect the overwhelming amount of love that has come from beyond the book. There's been hundreds of thousands of dollars of money closed in a very short period of time. The book's been out just under like 75 days right now. And I think we're about 400 and something plus $1,000 of closed deals. So
wow,
it's just absolutely, I mean, I'm getting raving reviews from people all over. My Instagram has been bloomed from about 4,000 followers to about 15,000 in that same time.
Damn,
right?
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, and I'm just excited about what this book has to offer. And I love the fact that some of the stuff I talk about in my book, like getting in sellers' faces and how you build credibility, you can imply with Deal Machine. So when I talk to you guys and you were saying, you tell me about your technology, and I start paying more attention to it, it was like, man, I want to meet with you guys and do more with you and build a relationship, because I know the value that this can create for the real estate space for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, no, one of the reasons I'm really excited about this conversation in general, just working together more in the future, is like I like to position Deal Machine as we make it super simple for people to find opportunities,
Right.
find deals, find sellers, obviously through driving for deals primarily. But in general, we're just a tool for people to get a hold of sellers one way or another through mail or skip tracing or whatever that is. But where we kind of leave off naturally is once they get into that meeting, it's still on them to have the conversation, close the deal, which I think is unique to our users or not just unique to our users, it's general to anyone wholesaling. People spend so much time researching, like, what do I do marketing wise? How do I find deals? How do I get, find people who want to sell their homes? And they forget everything that your book's about is like, you still have to have a conversation, interaction with someone. Yeah. And it is a selling aspect of the job. You're not just like showing up the contract that they're going to sign. There's a whole process to doing that really well. And I think it's unique where a lot of wholesalers get to that point in their wholesaling journey and then just kind of fall flat because they didn't even think about the fact that this is a whole far more important element in the end, I think, than people realize. Everyone can spend money, drive for deals, and find people who might want to sell their home. Not everyone can close it. Well, everyone can close it, but you have to prepare for that. It's not as simple as dollars and dollars out.
And that's the exact reason I put the book together, because I said most wholesalers know the process and what to do and how to find leads to actually get to the person. Not the problem typically doesn't come up until they actually have that interaction with the seller. Mm-hmm. So then once you get involved with the seller and they're giving you objections and you don't know what to say and you panic, or you're facing the anxiety of just not knowing what to do because it's your first time, or maybe even you've been experienced in the business and you just don't know what to say and how to handle certain situations, this is what the 21 Proven Secrets is all about. Mm-hmm. It's helping get you, to that next stage with the client where you can now have them saying yes and turn those no's around. So I'm really excited with what you guys can bring to the table, because I do know my audience ask me for, hey, look, what do you use that can help me get, in front of people? And I say driving for dollars is by far the most inexpensive way to get in front of people, and cold calling is next. And you guys provide a application that gives them the ability to do both, have that information pretty fast, and it does more. So I'm not shortcutting some of the stuff, because I know your app is pretty thorough as far as even sending out the mail. So one of the things that, I haven't been a big mailer myself, but sure, I know the value in it. So you're making multiple points of contact, whether that be through phone, mail, and this is creating more value. So what you guys have, I'm extremely excited to share with my audience for sure, because I know that it creates opportunities for more deals to be able to get in front of more sellers. Then you can apply the 21 Proven Secrets to really enhance your chances of getting that check.
So one of the things I wanted to go over is just obviously your book. I want to pull out, obviously we're not going to go through every single step of the 21 secrets, but there's some themes that a lot of times multiple secrets are really applying to. So I just want to talk to a few of those bigger themes and give you an opportunity just to have an open table to talk about those. So I guess the biggest thing, you kind of open with kind of the roadblock that people have, and the mindset shift that needs to happen for people to realize that this is a selling activity in a way. You're selling people on yourself as a solution, the solution in general, and just to get the deal in the end. So what do you think is the roadblock for people to think of it as a sales situation? What can they do to then transition their mindset to like act as a salesperson in this circumstance, as opposed to going in, I guess, not prepared for those conversations?
Well, one of the things I tell people about mindset is, like, for one, you got to have passion in what you're doing. You believe 1,000% that you're offering a solution that is going to help someone else. I think one of the most powerful things in the world is, how can I help you? And I lead with that with every single client, because I know the value that it brings me. You tell somebody, hey, I'm here to help you. I'm not here to take advantage of you. So I tell people that you need to be 1,000% committed, that you understand that you're here to solve a problem for somebody and that you offer the best solution bar none. So to me, when you get your mind committed to something and you 100% believe that, hey, what I am going to do and what I bring to you is truly a service, something that I know is better than anybody else's, and nothing else that anybody else can tell you is better than me, period. And I believe that in myself. And I try to push that off to everyone that I share my message with is, hey, look, you have to believe in yourself before anybody else will believe in you. And the minute that you get your mind to the point that you know that you are truly here to solve a problem, How can I help you? You change lives, and you change lives on a dramatic fashion. People begin to open up to you more. They trust you more. You can get to the building of rapport, your credibility, and everything all falls in line with just how can I help you? In mindset and believing that you bring it to the table. You are the best one.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You kind of mentioned in that statement rapport, obviously being a big factor. I think a lot of people talk about that a lot. It's important to build rapport with the seller. I think a lot of times it's a very loaded word and means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. So when you talk about rapport building, what does that mean to you? How do you, I guess just going into a situation, how do you make sure you do a good job building rapport to assist in eventually getting the close?
Well, the biggest thing to me in rapport to me is like trust. Mm-hmm. Like, I want you to trust me. So it's all about, to me, I've always tried to hack the trust equation. Period. Like, how do you hack the trust equation? How do you get someone that's extremely guarded to be unguarded? Because the reality is that every single person that you meet, you're a complete stranger to them. And you're saying that you can do something that everybody else is saying that they can do as well. So I believe that you have to get people to understand that, hey, look, that's why the how can I help you, I believe is so powerful. Because it doesn't come from a place of like, it's about you. It's about helping them. How can I help you get to your goal? Whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, if I can help you get whatever you want in life, everything else that I want will be reciprocated. So the reality is that people can hack that trust equation, stop making it about, hey, look, how can you win in this situation, and make it about your sellers being the winners in the situation. That's where all the credibility and everything in the rapport comes. Obviously, like having tools like Deal Machine, where you can see names and get contact information and have a conversation that's such informed based off, hey, look, you can see what the mortgage was sold, what the tax values are. When you start getting more data and you can be prepared and have a conversation that's truly professional. I tell people in this business all the time, you have to be a pro. You have to be prepared. And when you come to the table, when you have information from a source that says, hey, look, I'm talking to you credibly. I'm all about helping you. How can I assist you? And the tools that I use help me in that same fashion. Now you can become, have a head advantage over everybody else that's not using technology that way.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. There's two things that you said that are really unique to me that I think people overlook a lot. First is, and I'll get to the second one in a second. First is the fact that sometimes in rapport building, it has nothing to do, or what they want most in life has nothing to do with selling a house. More often than not, it has nothing to do with selling the house. Like, obviously the house is a nuisance and maybe the money they're gonna get out of it can help with something, or it is a nuisance because they just don't wanna maintain it anymore. But again, so often what they want most has nothing to do with selling the house, and you can offer a solution that, while purchasing the house, helps the other one. So I guess speak to that a little bit. Like, when it comes to identifying problems, you're not just talking about this house. You're talking about literally everything going on in their life.
You're digging deep, and that's a great example. And it's funny that you say that. Last night, I had a seller on the phone who literally, she has to sell a home now because she's trying to get surgery done. So her pain point isn't that she needs to sell the home. The pain point is that she needs the money to afford the surgery, and the home is the way to get there. Mm-hmm. So I understand where her pain point is and what she needs to get there. Now it helps me be able to get to the process of being able to say, hey, look, this is really important to you. I can understand 100% that we need to make sure you have the funds you need to take care of your body and be healthy. So let me take this time to now move with speed. I'm gonna get all the information to you as quickly as I can so we can get you the money that you need so you can get the surgery taken care of. Now I don't even make it about the property anymore. Mm-hmm. I made it about her and her surgery. Like, we're briefly talking about the house. I'm gonna get you all the information. We're gonna move as quickly as we can. We close quickly. But now I got her so at ease. Her mindset isn't worried about, hey, look, this person's over here trying to scam me or whatever, because I made it about her. Mm-hmm. You pay attention to the details of what they actually say, hey, look, that pain point is. The pain point is gonna get you the money. You gotta take care of their pain first. If you're trying to take care of yourself first, then you're gonna make a mistake and you're gonna miss a lot of deals because you're not paying attention. You have to be a great listener. But now this lady's ready to do a deal based off the fact that I know it. I listened to the cues. I knew what it was about. It's not about a house. She doesn't have the money to do what she needs to do for her health. Mm-hmm. So we make it about her health. We take care of what the pain point is, and then the money follows.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree. That's a great example, like you said, from last night.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's another example of why like this isn't just like a book to be a book for people to have. It's like legitimately how you close deals, and every single deal that is successful in the end. I think you can pretty systematically point to things that you do in this book, or just in general, these strategies that we're talking about are applicable to most scenarios.
You can use what's in the 21 proven secrets in your day-to-day life. Like, I mean, somebody's making a sale every single day. Your child, whether they're going to brush their teeth or not, who's going to win the battle of what time someone's going to bed. Like, we use these things in every single part of our life. But the reality is that you have to know what to do. You have to know how to handle it, and position yourself to be able to win those battles every single day. And I think what the preparation and the right mindset, you can really make more deals. You can make more money than you ever imagined, but you just got to know what to do. So I shortcut it and put it in a book for everybody, so they don't have to take the 5 years of my learning, and I just put it all into a little recipe. I cooked it up, and I made something I feel really, really proud of.
I wish I had read this book at the beginning of the year. And I have a sales background, so I'd like to think that certain elements of these, while maybe not naturally, but I've practiced them over previous things in my career. But I've had about 30 appointments this year, and only 2 deals out of those appointments from properties that I've added with Deal Machine while driving. And looking back at like so many of these appointments, like I know I have missed opportunities because I didn't go through these things. Like actually, an old boss / coworker of mine would call it getting happy years for salespeople, where like someone calls you and says, "I need to sell a house fast." And you're like, oh, it's a deal. Like I can get it. They need to sell it fast. You're super motivated. And then you get there and you inspect the house, and you're like, just confirming you need to sell fast. Great. And then you get to the point you skip so many of these steps that this book goes through, and you get to the point you present an offer, and in reality, like you didn't really solve their problem because they said they need to sell a house fast. And you thought that was the problem, but again, we're talking about the problems are behind the scenes on all these different things. And so, like, again, for me, I think a couple of things. I've gotten happy years many times throughout this year in the appointments that I've been on because they say 1 or 2 of these things, like, "Hey, come inspect my house. I want to sell it." But in reality, like, you need to not skip these steps, even if you think the deal is so locked up. It's so important to go through this process, build rapport, understand the need. So when you do present a solution, it's really driven by what their actual underlying need is.
And the reality is that everybody won't say yes the first time. So that's where you get into Secret 21, which is the follow-up. And how aggressively do you follow up? And I think so many people, I think it's a stat that says less than 25% of people make one call. Over 75% don't make the second call. So you got a lot of people that, I mean, you do the math. I mean, after that second call, it's just, that deal is done. In their mind, that person, they said no the first time. Oh, you probably won't even hear it, because so many people make that that objection rejection, where people fear the rejection so bad, like they take it personally. And now that deal is completely sabotaged because you're taking a no as a personal attack on you versus understanding that you're here to solve a problem for somebody else and it's not about you.
Right.
So the follow-up is so key in everything in life. I tell people every single day, if you want something, you go get it. And you go after it as aggressively and as relentlessly as you possibly can. And that doesn't mean be a scumbag, but that means that you show that you care. You put the energy and the effort into solving the true problem that someone has. If you solve someone's problem, the money's going to follow. Too many people are trying to solve their own financial problem, and they're not taking care of the people that they say they want the money from.
Yep, absolutely. My second point from earlier was something that you had mentioned a couple of times now, is preparedness. And so we talk about like the fluidity of the conversation to build rapport, figure out their needs and everything. But that's just in the moment when you're in the house or meeting with them, talking this through. There's a lot of stuff that you can and should be doing before you get to that point, before you even show up at the door. Can you speak to a little bit about what you recommend to people to have done already before they actually get to the appointment?
Absolutely. I tell you to be a professional. And when I say that, that means when you're being prepared, you've done all the homework necessary to be able to solve a problem. if you take your job serious, it doesn't start the day of. It doesn't start once you walk into the house. It happens before you. As soon as you hang up the phone with that client, now I start my research. I'm getting comps. I'm seeing like numbers. I'm seeing what's selling in the area. Are there any other properties that are listed in the area that are available for sale? I need every bit of ammo I can use. So as I get in contact with that seller and I have that face-to-face meeting, I can come with information that makes sense, because you back up your numbers and you justify everything with sense, information. Like, you just don't say just because I think it's worth this. You show by numbers. You give information. You give the people all the information they need to make an informed decision. Like, it's not about trying to manipulate anybody. I say, hey, here's why my numbers are what they are. I justify my numbers with information. Hey, this house down the street sold for $100,000. This house down the street sold for $50,000. I know you would like the high end, but we got to make sure it makes sense for everybody. And I can now give you all the information, not just from a high number or just a low number, because I think the biggest mistake that investors make is they only try to show the low numbers. Like, the homeowner hasn't seen the high numbers.
They can all go on Zillow. Like,
yeah, so everybody sees it already. So you're trying to manipulate somebody and you lack credibility just out the door. So I think being prepared, but also being credible. I put all this stuff into the 21 Proven Secrets for a reason, because these things are so critical into your success. And when you have people who truly take being prepared seriously, you walk into someone's home, they can sense if you're prepared or not. Like, they know if you've done your research, because you better believe they know what the neighbors always know what the numbers are. They know what somebody else's house was sold for. They know everything about their neighborhood. So if you walk in and you don't take your job serious, they won't take you serious. If you don't establish yourself as someone that can be credible, an authority figure, because you do this for a profession, so you look the part, you know, that's all critical into getting the seller to say yes. I think too many people think it's just about showing up to the door and having a pen. Like, no, you have to do all your homework prior to getting there to be able to position yourself as a credible source.
Absolutely, 100%. I love like position. You mentioned in the book talking about positioning yourself as a thought leader in the space and understanding it. And I think that can mean in a macro real estate sense. It can mean in a micro local market sense. Like, you whatever ways you can, whether it's knowing the comps really well, knowing repairs really well, on top of doing the reports, like, the expertise that you're bringing to them is helping them understand their options. And for you to be able to do that, you need to know those numbers. You need to know, like, if they listed the house and wanted to wait 100 days on market, what could they get for it? Because maybe that's $100,000 more than what you can give them on the house. And if they have the time and effort and willingness to go through that time, like, that could be a better solution. And then that's fine. If you can explain 100%. That, awesome.
Yes, you want to give all the options, even if that means that you don't do business with them. You're there to help them. Like, the biggest thing I think people do is they make it about themselves. Because guess what? The person that might list it with the realtor may come right back to you because you were the person that gave them all the information and you were honest and had integrity. Or if you don't get that deal, hey, guess what? They have friends, family that might also have a home for sale, and they say, hey, I have a guy for you. I wasn't able to do business with him, but he was amazing. She was amazing. So you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position to always win, even when it seems like you haven't got that particular deal. I've had countless deals that it took me years to close a person, but I followed up so aggressively, I mean, years after the fact. And guess what? In the meantime, they were sending me other people. I didn't get his deal, but he was sending me other people.
Yep.
I had a guy, Paul Cope, who literally, he was sending friends he was like one of my best, he was like he worked for me. So it's always important to make sure, even when you don't get that person to say yes right away, to always treat them like, hey, look, they're the best person in the world. You give them all the information. You give them the ability to make informed decisions. That's what your job is. If you assist them in their process, if you are the best solution for them, they're going to do business with you.
Right.
Period.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. Kind of leads me to my next big point, asking for the sale and closing, actually. I think a lot of people struggle with, especially people who haven't been doing this long, each of these steps feels like I need to check this off the list. I need to check that off the list. I need to check that off the list. But a lot of times in these conversations, it's not that situation. It's not that fluid where it's just like step by step by step. So I guess my question is, like, how do you identify when to try and ask for the sale without like disrupting rapport building, without like skipping a step or something like that? Like, how do you identify when to ask for the sale, and how do you present that initial ask for the sale for you, and that gets the best reaction?
So one of the things I do is I always ask for the sale every single time I go to a home. I don't believe in negotiating over the telephone. I believe doing it face to face. So I'm all about setting the appointment. And when I go to my appointment, I'll kind of set the stage of what to expect in the next 30 minutes or so that we're together, potentially an hour, depending on, time and what we go through. And I'll tell the seller, hey, look, I'd love for you to give me a tour of your home. You can show me, all the things that you like for me to see. I'm excited to be here. After we tour the property, I like to go over a couple of options that I potentially have for you that could potentially make some sense for you. You're not obligated to make any decision today, but if you feel like something makes sense to you, we're more willing to do this deal today and close quickly. So I'm setting up the stage for what they can expect during the visit. And then it's all about positioning. So once I let them walk me through the house, and I tell them how lovely their house is, and I can't wait for their house to be mine. I'll position myself literally next to them. I don't want to sit across the table from them. I want to be sitting side by side. I'm not here to combat with you. I'm here to give you all the information to make a decision. Period. Even if your best decision means doing business with a realtor, and I'm okay with that, and I'm 100% committed to giving you the best solution. So if I am the best solution for you, awesome. If that means you have to use a realtor or sell it on your own, so be it. That's fine. That's also awesome to me too. So I really position myself. Hey, listen, I'm here to give you all the information. If this information makes sense, I'm gonna give you a pen and pad so you can sign here. But it's also about, let me make sure you got all the information that helps you make the decision. And I sit side by side. We're a team. It's team us, Josh. We got to get it together. So as we negotiate, I want us to understand that, hey, look, if these numbers aren't, exactly what you're looking for, it might shock you at first, but we'll be able to work through it. Okay, I appreciate all the time we spent together. So I'm kind of setting them at ease. I want to be very comfortable. I want to be open with me in conversation so I can get more matter of fact, because I haven't at this point I haven't talked about any issues in the property. I've literally only said this is a beautiful house. I love this house. So now all my notes that I mentally had that I didn't write on the pad, because I never write my stuff down. I just want them to be at ease. I don't want to walk past the leaky ceiling and be writing with my pen. I just make a mental note. Because I'm a professional, I already know what I'm looking for anyway. So then as I get in front of them and we begin to negotiate, hey, look, I got a couple offers for you. I have an as-is offer. You sell it to me as is. I have an offer for you if you fix these items. Then I might have a creative option over here for you as well. Which one of these work best for you? Now slide it over to the seller. Let them take a look and see I'll let them make a decision. Does this work right here for you? Yes or no? I need to think about this or that. I give them the opportunity to kind of evaluate and give them options. People love options. So giving one offer is always bad. I give you one offer as is and one offer if you fix the stuff I need fixed right here. But I make that number so big that, most people won't have an interest in fixing 30, 40 grand worth of stuff. But you give them options. Hey, look, I'm gonna give you a cash offer, which is gonna be probably not ideally what you want to take, but I'm gonna make it to my advantage. Every offer is to my advantage. But you get to win if you're motivated to sell. It's all about creating something that's obviously appealing to the seller's eyes. Because if the seller has a high motivation and they're trying to get rid of this property, and it's a pain point to them, I want to give them so many solutions that one of them is going to make sense to them, but I want them to always be where I can have a gain out of it as well. So positioning is key. I believe in making sure that you tell the seller that we are on a team. So I'm setting the stage that, hey, listen, I haven't negotiated or told you anything bad about your property. The number is always the easiest part of my job. Because it literally is. You get to make a decision on numbers, whether it work or not for you. I'm going to give you my expert opinion on what your property is worth as is, or you fix some items for me. That's, you know, it's up to you if you want to fix these items or not. I mean, most people don't. Most of my customers just let, you know, take my as is price, but you make a decision that works best for you. Which one of these work best for you? I need your initials here. I need your signature here. You just make it about, hey, I asked for the business.
Right. Yeah, I like the as is offer too. I think a lot of people talk about like just a normal cash offer or like a creative financing offer, like an owner finance scenario or something like that. But I haven't heard a lot of people talk about like breaking down an as is offer or like, hey, if you want to fix it up. And I think that does a couple things. Most prominently, it gets them thinking about the fact that a lot of repairs have to happen.
Correct.
Almost always. There wouldn't be in this conversation with us if there wasn't something wrong with the property usually. And so it gets them identifying, hey, like that's an expenditure, that's time, and then there's a lot of effort that goes into getting to that like higher price because it takes money to get there.
It takes money to get there.
And so I think that's awesome because it helps position then your as is offer as like they understand why it is the offer that it is lower than the number that almost certainly that they initially wanted. And everything like that. So I really like that.
100%.
Yeah. And I've done the cash offer and then like the creative financing offer and stuff like that, but I've never done like two different like essential cash offers. With
people love options.
Right.
People love options, man. I mean, that was the biggest thing in the auto industry. I show you a payment at 48 months, 60 months, 72 months. No money down, $1,500 down, $3,000, $5,000 down. I want you to have as many options as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. You get to make the decision which one of those fits best for your budget and what you hope to accomplish. Me, I'm just trying to give you all the information.
Right.
As much information as I can give you is all I want to do. I want you to have the informed decision to make. Mm-hmm. I'm just here to give you all the information. Absolutely. Over and over again. I love telling people that the information is key because when information is power to your seller.
Right.
Now they can feel confident that the decision that they're making is based off something of like, hey, okay, I got everything I need to know. Mm-hmm. Now I'm not having to second guess myself. This is the option that I feel comfortable with. Mm-hmm. It works a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I think all of this are really, really good ideas, things that people need to go through each and every meeting. I think the unique thing about all of these is it takes practice to do all of them. It's Correct. Not something that you can just go into a meeting and remember all of this information that you want to be doing or do it the way in which is the correct way to do it in a meeting. And so you talk about practice in the book as well. There's actually, I think you say like practice the right things. I think that was the big element. It actually reminded me, an old football coach at my high school would always say like practice makes perfect, but in reality it's perfect practice makes perfect. Correct. And so it's not just about going through the motions and like thinking these through. It's actually really uniformly practicing these things, practicing your script or at least how you pitch things, how you talk about things, what questions you want to ask. You need to go through that to perfection to do what you want to do in these meetings. And so I guess talk a little bit about how you go about practicing, preparing for these meetings.
Yeah, so one of the things I tell people, and it's probably the most critical thing you can do is put yourself in a position to negotiate as much as you possibly can. And I tell people all the time, like, hey, look, I don't negotiate over the telephone. There's reasons why I don't. What happens is the more that you're putting yourself in position by practicing, even as a noob, if you're in this business, or even if you're a seasoned vet, we get rusty. If you go a certain amount of time, just not doing something, you won't be as comfortable doing it. If you do something on a daily basis, now it becomes extremely comfortable to you. So when an objection comes to you, your rebuttal smoothly comes out. But if you're fumbling and bumbling because somebody got you off guard with a reply that they said to you and you don't know what to say, they won. You're going home and letting them think about it now because you didn't know what to say back when they said they need to think about it. Mm-hmm. So you say, hey, okay, I'm gonna tuck my tail and go home. But if you start putting yourself by literally remembering that, hey, look, the steps are simple. I practice what I do every single day. I take this as a profession. But it's like not just practicing, but practicing the right thing. And practice makes permanent. But you want to make sure people understand, say practice makes permanent. It's extremely important that and that's why I'm trying to brand it into people's mind that you role play. You do these things because when you take time to really invest into yourself daily, not every couple of weeks or whatever, but because you take this business serious, you do this daily. As you get in front of people and they give you rebuttals, as they tell you certain things, you now know, hey, I'm here to help you. How can I assist you? Your rebuttals and everything are all about the fact that I'm here to provide you with solutions that'll help you have a winning solution. Period. Not for me to take advantage of you. I'm not like everyone else. I'm not going to come unprepared. And this goes to your comps and everything. It's just not practicing on a script. It's not just practicing on what to say when the seller says no to you, but it's about how you literally practice your habits of being a professional every single day. Your preparedness, how you dress, every single thing all boils into how you practice this thing. It's a big deal. I think sometimes people kind of want to like micro it into just like, hey, I'm practicing the phone script. It's not just about practicing the phone script. It's about how you practice positioning yourself, how you practice being an authority, how you practice being credible. Like it's a big scheme of understanding. Like people view you like you might be shady. You're coming in my house and you're trying to buy my money for pennies on a dollar. If you come in here, you can't look the part, act the part, be a professional. Then you're that stigma that everybody else wants to label you as will come. So it's very important that you come in as a professional. It's very important that you know your information, that you can give information to help somebody make informed decisions. Like these are how you really take people to that next level. This is how you get people to let their guard down, and this is how you get people to say yes and they do business with you time and time again. And that's how you close thousands of deals.
Awesome, very cool. Well, yeah. So I mean, those are the big things about the book that I wanted to emphasize, from selling to building rapport, practicing in preparation, and then asking for the sale. I think those are like throughout the book. I think the five or six key phases that happen in the transaction that you need to really focus on. So yeah, very awesome. I guess for me, I'd also love to transition a little bit, not necessarily just about Deal Machine, but maybe talking about more generally just some tools that you've been using consistently, or of people that have been using consistently to find real estate opportunities out there.
I mean, honestly, man, I've always been just big on like the driving for dollars and seeing what you guys do. You seem to have it all. When you think of a software that can literally give you your skip tracing, you can take a picture of a property and now that mails that exact picture to the property with a are you interested in selling your property postcard. I think some of that stuff is so powerful. To have it at the ease of your cell phone is absolutely ridiculous. So I get a lot of people that tell me, hey, look, I don't have a lot of time, or, I'm kind of limited in some of the stuff I have. And when you put all that stuff and source it into one single app that is that powerful, I'm extremely excited about it. I'm looking to take it to the next level in my own personal business with using Deal Machine. When you have somebody that can literally go like that, and I can walk up 5 houses and pull information as I go, just seeing that technology is going to be. I'm extremely excited to try to implement that into what I'm currently doing. Other apps out there or sources I use, obviously, like as far as maybe pulling lists from ListSource, Investor Carrot is another. Obviously, just the SEO aspect of that, and then REI Rail. I think you guys may be cooking something up pretty soon.
Most likely.
I might be letting the cat out the bag a little early. But yeah, those are kind of the ones I look at.
Awesome, very, very cool. I think one of the last things I wanted to go over, we spoke yesterday about a program that you're going to kind of be launching throughout 2019 and really focusing on, called the Homeless to Wholesaler program.
Right.
And I'd love you to just have the opportunity to talk a little bit more about why you're passionate about that program, what it is you're really trying to do, how others might be able to help, just anything to that effect.
Sure. So, Homeless to Wholesaler. It's a lot of impact and what that just means to me. So Max and I had our world tour earlier this year, and while we were in Houston, Texas, I saw a gentleman who was scraping up food off the ground and it had a big impact on me. It didn't sit well with me, and I gave him some money, but I still felt very unsettled, and I just started brainstorming on ways I can help people who are less fortunate than I am. And quite honestly, with some of my past, I could have been pretty much homeless if I didn't get into the right lane and have the tools that I have available to me. So this Homeless to Wholesaler project that I'm doing is I want to take my closing ability and take it to the next level and share it with people who are less fortunate. So in 2019, I will begin to share a vlog on my YouTube channel, Tony the Closer, which I'm going to take a couple people who are less fortunate, homeless, maybe some people who've been in some pretty tough situations, and I'm going to teach them how to wholesale. And I believe it's important that, they say, hey, look, you can feed a man, but if you teach him how to feed himself, he can eat forever. And I want to make sure that I can change someone's life and have an impact that's greater than just walking around and giving them $1 or $2. I want to be able to make somebody know that, hey, look, no matter where you are on planet Earth, you can go and have a closing ability that can take you to another level. And I want people to know that not just about looking at yourself every day and trying to be a winner, but helping others who are less fortunate can literally be the difference in changing a life. So some of the things that just I've been impacted by in the last year and meeting so many people through what Max and I have done, I wanted to make sure I could have an impact on a lot of people who weren't as fortunate. So this Homeless to Wholesaler program will literally change lives. I am hoping that obviously with Deal Machine, we can partner and do some things to where I'll take and use some of those tools to help streamline some deals into the pockets of some guys who are a lot less fortunate. And when they see the tools and how easy it is to implement, plus using the 21 Proven Secrets, we can help put some people in positions that they will no longer have to be using the shelter to put for where they sleep at night, being able to put themselves in positions of being entrepreneurs and controlling their own destiny. And I just think that's so important that moving into 2019, people take a not a me look first. And I know a lot of people look for how they can gain. I'm also looking for personal gain for myself, but I think the biggest gain comes from helping others. So I'm extremely committed to this project, and I plan on making this a challenge to not only me but a lot of other investors who are in this field. As they watch what I do, maybe it influences other people to stop looking over people and help people who might not be as fortunate as we are.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I can say on behalf of Deal Machine, we're excited to help and see what we
I'm excited for it.
What we can do to help make that happen for you guys and for the people that start with that program. Absolutely.
I know with having technology that can get phone numbers and do some of the things that Deal Machine offers, in addition to the commitment that they'll have from me, in any aspect of closing and being able to be as sharp as they need to be to get that deal, we're going to close some deals.
We're going to do
We're going to close some deals, and I'm more importantly going to change some lives in closing those deals. And I'm extremely excited. I'm thankful that you guys will take part in that, because that makes that process even easier. Because I tell you, I believe in what you guys have as a product, and to be able to have something that can kind of short line and get us in more informed prospects will be just. I'm extremely excited about it. I'm ready for everybody to see what's happening very soon.
Awesome. Well, as we're signing off, I know you mentioned the YouTube channel that you're doing there. I guess just kind of say, like, what are all the places that people can find your book? What do you want to kind of plug or talk about so people can make sure to find you online and all that good stuff?
Sure. So my Instagram is TROB56, TROB56. The YouTube channel is Tony the Closer. To find the 21 Proven Secrets, you can go to TonyTheCloser.com. Once again, that's TonyTheCloser.com. I'm so excited about this. If you guys understand what this book can do for your life, what Deal Machine can do as far as adding to your business, this stuff that we're talking about can literally change and elevate your business, whether you're a seasoned vet or you're a noob in the business. And that's the most critical part. It doesn't matter if you know it all or you just get into the business. When you have the ability to have informed conversation, you create instant value when you can do that and instantly get a whole lot of credibility to be able to move forward in that process of getting that deal. So I'm extremely excited that we can kind of partner on this stuff, Josh. Deal Machine is absolutely incredible, and man, I can't wait for 2019.
Awesome. Yeah, likewise. And just so everyone knows listening, you can find Deal Machine at dealmachine.com, as well as if you just type in Deal Machine for real estate investors on either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. You can find the app there, give it a test. We have a 14-day free trial, all that good stuff. Socially, we got a big Facebook group that's a Deal Machine community group where people just talk about strategies for driving for deals, how to find and prospect properties, how to talk to sellers, how to close deals, all that good stuff. A lot of good conversation from seasoned vets there. And then on Instagram at Deal Machine app. That's how you can find us and get our content and give Deal Machine a try.
All right, man, guys. Cool. If you like what you see in this channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications. Can't wait to see you next time. See ya.
Good luck, guys.